How's Seneca doing? You know, obviously practice today, but how's he doing health-wise?
Yeah, he's got an issue with his thumb, so we got some imaging today, and we'll probably know more here in the next 48 hours. But he hasn't practiced the last couple of days, so we'll see.
So it's not related to the ankle that he tweaked the other.
No, but both happened in the game, so.
Where's Foose at with his injury?
Foose is doing good. He's I think he hasn't missed, didn't miss a rep the last 2 days. We're still trying to be a little bit cautious, but he's doing good. I expect him to be a full go.
So other than Seneca, it doesn't sound like any injury hoopla coming into Thursday?
Yeah, let's hope so. So we have, we just have, everybody's banged up. Every player in all of basketball at every level right now is banged up. So, but in terms of I expect to have, our full roster, with the exception of Seneca, we'll kind of see.
How do you feel like you guys are playing right now?
Well, I felt like our energy and commitment was awesome on Saturday. This game is complicated sometimes because sometimes you can do some things really, really well and not be rewarded the way you want to, but you don't want to throw them out. And I thought our energy and our commitment and our togetherness and our fight and our physicality were exceptional on Saturday. It's really hard to go in that gym and, like we talked about post game, and out rebound them on the offensive and defensive glass, especially with an undersized roster like we have. I'm super proud of that. With some exceptions, I thought like our guys were fully up for the physicality of the game. Which is so important as you get into the end of February and March. You just have to have a physical presence, and I thought our guys did that really, really well. We still are. There's times where our decision making is super challenging for us. It's something that's challenging for our team right now, and we're trying to get better at it, and we need to protect this ball a little bit more. Defensively, we still had some breakdowns, even though our physicality and commitment were still there, that are just have been oddly uncharacteristic of us the last several weeks, and so some things we need to clean up. But our guys' fight and toughness and togetherness was really special.
You've talked a lot this season about analytics, metrics, all these different things at all 9 yards. How much do you take into account or consideration your projected margin of victory and how that can sort of put you in whatever spot? And if let's say you're projected to win by a certain amount and you don't do that, how much do you care about that?
Well, you care about it in terms of how much it affects your placement, right? How you're going to be evaluated for postseason play. It's really, really important, and so I think it's one of the unfortunate. Maybe unintended consequences of putting so much stock into the net and Ken Pop and all these other things, is that if you win by 12 or if you win by 22, it really, really matters. And so that's why you see teams not, emptying the bench, not playing other guys on the roster is because those matter. And I think it's a little bit of a distraction from the game, but it matters. It's not the end-all, be-all, but it matters. And so, those things are really important right now. It's the nature of the sorting that we go through, and so it's important.
We've seen teams over the last couple of weeks win by 20 and they make a jump by 20 spots sometimes they can't find. How much right now going into this last week are you not, I guess, trying to make a statement, but knowing what a 20-point win could do?
Yeah, it gives you the potential to jump. For example, last year we won at Portland. I think Portland had won. Did they win 0 games in conference last year? So it was not a prestigious win, but we ended up winning by 40-something. And as an already well-placed team, I think we jumped 10 spots from that win on the road, which is super surprising. Our team has not been built that way this year. I think we're trying to go win. Like we need to go win this game Thursday. We got to find some way to win, and so all of our focus is trying to find some way to win the game, and that's the most important thing for us. And this LMU team is. Lost a bunch of games in a row, but they just had a chance to tie the game with the last possession of the game at Santa Clara, and we know they're a good team. And they were at Pacific, really a game they should have and could have won, and played Portland really, really tough. We're down big, and they came all the way back to make it a game, and played us to overtime in their gym. And they're shooting the ball much better the last 5 games as a team. They're close to 40%, which had been something that had been plaguing them early on in the season. So they're playing much more free and shooting the ball better. And they're a good team. Our experience so far in this league is top to bottom. These teams have been really, really good and really dangerous. So our whole priority is, we're not talking about, we're not in a position right now where we're talking about, margin of victory. We're trying to get margin of victory to be at least 1. We'd like it to be 1 or greater.
Senior night coming up on Saturday. Do you plan to have all 5 of the seniors that are on the roster honored this Saturday night?
Yeah. So right now it looks like we're still kind of navigating that a little bit, but it looks like we're going to have a solid group. It looks like. We'll of course it's definitely going to be Alex and Tijon. And then I think at least a couple other guys.
With a non-basketball question, I'm curious with Trey's default happiness. When did he come to you with that idea, and what was your first reaction?
He started talking about it last summer, and I love it. He's talked publicly about some of his mental health challenges, and regardless of that, it's a great way to live life. That very few of us ever actually kind of reach that space. And it's been really fun to kind of watch him step by step grow his business. So he's actually contracted most of the work out now. So it's actually super exciting. He's built a website. He's got a marketing team. He's got a manufacturer that he's contracted at least some of the stuff with. And he's signing his first athletes to NIL deals, which is super cool. I remember, I'll never forget, when I was playing with the Denver Nuggets, Carmelo Anthony had he was looking towards a max contract. He said maybe in his second year he was looking forward to it, and Stan Kroenke, the owner, came in and he talked about the money he was making right now, and Carmelo's like, no, I'm not interested in this money. I want to be making your money, Walmart money, right? And so it's just fun. Like it's fun that Trey has been bold enough to jump onto the ownership side of the NIL agreement. Like that's actually super cool. And the fact that it's all wrapped up in a great idea and a really, really important cause, and that it's really, really service-oriented and is trying to lift people up. Come on, man, that's a really great package. So I'm super excited for him, and I think we'll see more of this from athletes. I hope so. I hope we're going to see more of it from our athletes, because this can be an integral part of your college experience. Our guys have grown so much through this NIL process. Their education has been augmented in this incredible way about, the things that they're considering having to do with contracts and market share and term length and exclusivity and all these concepts that have become really, really real to them, as well as investing and everything else. And so, let's hope business ownership becomes a part of that, because that's the right side of things to be on, and it's pretty exciting for our guys.
Just in college basketball right now, I feel like you have coaches versus cancer, and you have certain coaches don't wear suits anymore. I guess is there any opportunity for, since he's selling shoes and clothing, to have him potentially have like a shoe that you wear for coaches versus cancer? Have you talked about that at all?
Yeah, he actually, we did a coaches versus cancer game at against Creighton earlier in the year, and he did my shoes that they took those and they auctioned them away at some point or something. But yeah, I think there's a ton of space for that, and it's really awesome to see this coming from young people. It's incredible to see. I mean, this is what college should be, right? And so I'm really proud of him and excited about kind of the ground that he's breaking right now. And I don't know how you want more out of your college experience. He's getting an unbelievable degree, and he's playing at an elite basketball institution, and he's running his own business, and he's signing athletes to deals. Come on. It's pretty cool.
Wanted to follow up on the senior day. So have you already sorted out as far as with the COVID year, it makes it so unique how guys could come back? Have you already kind of laid out a roadmap with all the guys as to what maybe the plan is for next year as far as their eligibility? And
no, not so much. But with some of these seniors, I think some of the seniors have taken that in consideration and are. But that's that's a conversation that's ongoing, right? So it's just different now. Like every senior class for the next 3 years is going to be like, well, you're a senior, but are you gonna take a COVID year? You're ready to be done, and so. We're conscious of that and trying to give guys space to make decisions.
What has Alex meant to this program? I mean, every step of the way that you've been here, he's been part of it, and you experienced a senior day last year with him, and this is the real thing this time. Just what has he meant more than just simply wins in the program? Yeah,
I mean, he has been first of all, he's given his heart and soul to his university, right, into this basketball program, and he's integrated himself into this setup in such a magnificent way. So just him as a citizen and a human being and a young person here in college, as a guy with a big heart in this community, he's done so much service and so much example setting and so much welcoming. He's been an incredible ambassador for the university in his 3 years here. And then in terms of, in this locker room, he came in his first year with a group that had been here and fit in seamlessly and kind of became well loved from the first day. And then after that first year, spent the whole summer trying to grow himself into a leader of this locker room and a leader of this team, and he kind of earned that space last year, both on the court and the locker room, and then just really augmented those leadership roles over the last year. And he's been everything BYU basketball, right? I mean, he's he's the guy that ties these first 3 years together for sure, with elite, incredibly elite level basketball play on the court and great leadership in the locker room. So. If you're going to identify BYU basketball right now and you had to just choose one player that tied these past 3 years together, there's nobody that's not going to say Alex Barcelo, and that's pretty impressive.
Along the same lines, T-John, his short time here, can you kind of characterize his contribution?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, but the joy and love of this game and love for his teammates and the willingness to sacrifice and elite level basketball play from him has been so fun. And I think being a grad transfer, sometimes you can come in and just you don't feel completely immersed, but he immersed himself in this from day one, and it feels like he's always been here, and he's been really special. He just is, man, what a great human being he is.
Do you view these next two games as like there's just no possible way that you guys can lose?
Well, no, you can lose any game. I mean, that's why we play them, right? And these are two good teams that, both took us to the wire just 2 weeks ago. So, these games are going to be hugely challenging for us, just like every game has been all season. And we're at that point in the season where every win matters. Like it, if that's what you're saying, the urgency that we feel massive urgency, and it's not that different because we felt massive urgency the third game of the season too. Like every game for us is so urgent, and so it's a really familiar space that we're living in right now. But it's the end of the season, and it's win or go home essentially. I mean, that's how the end of the season is, right? And so we're definitely feeling urgency, and it's familiar.
With an opening on your schedule, has you or your staff maybe looked at a possible resume building opportunity in the non-conference? Because that that Portland game getting postponed?
Yeah, those conversations have gone in earnest for the last 3 or 4 days. So we reached out to about 20 different teams, and there's I think decisions on that are going to be made probably after everybody gets through the weekend. But we have some teams that could play Tuesday, a lot that could play Wednesday. Most of them we need to be on the road to make it a quad one. And so we're also trying to figure out. I think if the WCC tournament started today, we would play Friday, and so Wednesday game on the road, and then fly to Vegas, and then hopefully if things go well, play Friday, Saturday before we get a break. All that is in limbo right now. We're just trying to evaluate and see. But yeah, we're really aggressively, actively pursuing potential opportunities, and so much would have to come together to make it happen. But that's something we're talking about.
How do you get another school to agree to play you when sort of the understanding is that it would be a resume builder for you?
Well, no, it'd be a resume builder for the winner.
I see.
So I think that's the idea, right? And so it's it's teams that are right, kind of occupying the same space as us, where it can be a difference maker. Some teams just getting another win would be important for us, and it'd be a quality win for both teams, kind of no matter where we had the game. But so that's the idea, and that's all in theory. Like everybody's talking about it right now, but like talking about it to actually getting a contract signed and getting a game is a super small step, but it's a massive step.
Is your criteria for that like a quad one? And do you care if that game is across the coast on the East Coast?
Yeah, those are things we're considering for sure. It's just the travel difficulty, right, is something. So, but there's a couple teams we're talking to that are East Coast teams, and it's expensive, right? Especially if you can't make it a Tuesday. And when I mean expensive, I mean energy expensive, right? If you can't make it a Tuesday game and it's a Wednesday game, and it's just we're just tiptoeing our way forward and kind of see how things play out the next 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours.
There's a Zoom question.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Mark. How do you measure if your team is getting better every day, which is one of your mantras, when you have 18 guys on the roster?
Well, it doesn't feel like we have 18 guys on the roster. Yeah, so listen, we talk about wanting to play our best basketball at the end of the season, and trying to get better as we go through the season. And in some ways we are improving. In some ways there's been little spaces where we've had temporary or kind of ongoing regression, right? And so that's a challenge. We're still focusing on. We're chasing the opportunity to get better the best we can, and it's something we think about and talk about all the time. But you're also dealing with setbacks and changes all the time, and so you're asking kind of the metrics based on that. And they're as varied as the problems, right? And so that is, that is certainly a work in progress.
There's another Zoom question.
Mark, with 2 games left in the regular season, what has been the emphasis at practice? Earlier, you mentioned physicality, and right now you mentioned getting better every day.
Yep.
2 specific games left, and then it's go time.
Yep.
What has the emphasis been in practice?
Well, a couple things. Always for us, it's rebounding the ball is a huge emphasis for all the time. Our physicality and being dialed in defensively is hugely important to us. We've kind of been working internally to sometimes one of the challenges that's been plaguing us somewhat recently is sometimes there's the right way to guard a team on paper, and then there's the way that we can guard a team with our capabilities and our personnel, and sometimes, man, you just fight back and forth on issues like that. But that's a place we're trying to grow, and trying to find the best answers we can every time. And then a theme for us the last several weeks and going forward certainly will be playing with pace and really focus on making a play for your teammate. Like that is a huge push for us the last 2 weeks, and it'll continue to be a push for us. So it's kind of a really, really broad general offensive and defensive themed ideas.
And one more off of that, there's obviously a lot of things that you guys are trying to fix, but also a lot of things you guys are doing right. What is one thing that you're most confident in right now about your team?
Well, I believe in my team's fight. I believe in their commitment to each other. They've proven that over and over and over again. I think with roster changes at the heart of us, I believe that we can really rebound the ball. Although we had a little stretch where that was really challenging for us, and it's got more challenging for us as we've gotten smaller and smaller. I think that we have the potential to really, really guard, and that's something we're trying to shore up right now. That has been a little bit of a stressful piece of the component of this deal for us. I believe that we have terrific leadership on this team. I believe that we can shoot the ball. I believe we can make shots. I believe that we can play with pace in this game. I believe that we can find answers. So there's a lot of places where I'm like, yeah, I think we're really good there. We're continuing to try and work on our decision making, and that part of that falls on me in terms of the plethora of decisions that I invite our players to be able to make. Sometimes it's just too much, right? And so that's something we're trying to hone in on. But there's a lot. I mean, listen, this team has accomplished so much this year, and there's a lot that we do really well. We won two games in a row on the road, and we're a possession away from having a chance to win 3 games in a row on the road, including one against the top 20 team in the country. And so we didn't get that, and I don't want that to blur the fact that we're making progress, right? Sometimes you're making real progress and you still drop a really tough game. And so we're trying to continue that momentum, and these 2 games are huge for us this week. I'm not even talking about 2 games. This game Thursday is huge for us. It's really, really important. It'll continue kind of this trajectory that I believe we're on right now. And I do believe, like I told my guys, my guys were really devastated on this flight going home. They had fought so hard and just came up a little bit short. And I told them, and I'm telling you from the depths of my soul, I believe this, that our best basketball is ahead of us. I really do. And I know that might sound odd to say this late in the season, but I believe it. I believe our best basketball is ahead of us. We just got to go grab it. So that's exciting. I mean, come on. What more could you want? Okay, we're good?
Yep, you're good.
All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much. Let's go. Come on.